This is Dan here at Blue Dog Farms, head coologist, chief chicken chaser, top turkey herder, and head skid steer bucket replacer. So I've had an ongoing problem with this skid steer and that the buckets wore out, and let me just show you. So this bucket, I don't know if you've seen in other videos, but it's getting worse. Yes, that's a hole. A good sized hole. And it pretty much goes clear across. So basically, it's about to break in half. It's kind of annoying. You pick up any kind of material at all that's loose. That's not the consistency of concrete that's been cured, it just falls out that hole. With dirt, gravel, snow. So some people might say, well, why don't you just fix the bucket? You could lay a piece in there and weld it. And I could. This bottom piece here was replaced before I got it, and the original bottom, this is, I'm sure, the original bucket for the machine, was built in 1980. The bottom's gone. I mean, completely. They didn't take the bottom out like they should have and weld this in. They just welded it in over the top of it. And you can see that the entire bottom of the bucket is missing, except for a little corner over here that's just hanging on for dear life. My other issue is that this is a New Holland Quick Connect. And back when they were having the Quick Connect wars on who was going to come up on top, New Holland's did not. So nobody makes attachments for a New Holland Quick Connect. I think these are a better system in that it clamps the bucket tight. Here with these handles, they clamp on these little hooks here that are in the bucket, so that there's no wiggle room, and you can adjust them up so that even as it wears, you can make it so it's tight so it doesn't move at all. Where the new Quick Connect styles, while it might be faster, they can get loose, and the only way to fix it is with a welder or replacing parts. So again, this didn't went out, so I'm kind of stuck with either trying to locate an old New Holland style Quick Connect bucket or changing it. Now I have found this piece here that you can buy and weld on a bucket, but it was really expensive. And then I've still got a bucket that doesn't go on anything else. So the other issue I have is this Quick Connect plate is rusted out here on the bottom, and it's been broken and welded a couple of times in here. It's hard to see on the camera, but it's been broken more than once and welded back up. I think I welded it up the last time when I got it. So I've made the, and I struggled with the issue, why don't I just sell this and get something else? And I did end up buying a different machine. It's bigger. It doesn't run. That's a whole separate video. But one thing about it is it's not good in the barn. When I'm in the barn, this machine, this New Holland L445 is, when you're in the barn, it's almost too big. When you're out of the barn, it's way too small. So I'll probably keep both machines. Now, so the issue is, how do I make this so it fits on this new bucket that I just bought, which is, it's not new, it's used. It's in really good shape, but it's a case bucket, but it's got the standard Quick Connect on the back of it, which will absolutely not fit on my Quick Connect plate. So this is what I did. I I got this quick coupler adapter off of eBay. No, they're not paying me to do a review on this. But I will put a link in the description to their eBay ad. So the reason I got this particular adapter plate, it's heavier than what I like, but what's important is that this plane, this is where you weld your ears for your pins for your bucket. You're supposed to weld them on this plate, and this plane is further back. The handles are recessed so that any material coming out here will miss. Now, since my skid steer is so small, it'll catch right in here somewhere with the inside pin flange, and then it extends out over into here. So these handles need to miss. We'll see how this goes. Let's get to it. So, let me give a little advice. I don't do this often on my channel, but I'm going to give you some advice on heavy equipment. If you're thinking about getting into farming or construction, any occupation, if you're starting your own business where you're going to use heavy equipment, landscaping, lawn mowing, one thing you need to do, anytime you get something new like this shiny, well painted, and hasn't been used before, the first thing you do before anything else, the first thing you have to do, now this is really important, I can't stress this enough, the most important thing you have to do when you get something new like this, before you use it, is to start cutting stuff off of it. While I didn't have a working camera, I moved this up an inch, cut the center section out, and now I've got these pieces that'll fit underneath there. This is the tilt cylinder pin here, and so it's right over the top of this structural cross member, which is nice. So I've got this shim to go underneath, weld that in so it supports the weight on this piece, because this isn't all that thick, and it's not going to have the strength of this piece cut off anyway. So there's the piece over there on the floor looking dejected and headed for the scrap bin. So I'm going to drive these in and get that welded on and finish welding this and ready to paint it. I know they make these hooks that are flat on this side so that you can weld them on easier, but nobody has them locally, so I just cut the one ear off so it sits down kind of flat. I can get a good weld on it. So, little design flaw on my part. I'm going to put those hooks in. I put them so that they're hitting the tire when I curl the bucket all the way back. So I'm going to have to cut them off and I'll move them over here. On that side, they'll miss everything over there. And they're fine when it's curled forward, but yeah, I'm going to have to cut those off and move them. Unfortunately. Other than that, she seems to work fine. It doesn't engage the bottom of the bucket. You see we've got a little bit of space here and the cutting edge is on the ground, which is perfect, just how I wanted it. This bucket's a little big for this skid steer, but honestly I don't do a lot of dirt moving with it. Usually I'm moving brush or hay or sticks or something else. With this new system I can get a lower profile bucket. I got this one because it's lower profile than the old one. The old one was taller here and on the sides, and it wasn't quite this heavy duty. But the reason I got this one with the long bottom piece is mostly for hay when I stack hay bales in there. The other one ended about here, and it'd be harder to pick up hay with it, and I end up carrying hay around a lot with this thing for some reason. So I can, with this setup, I can always go back and get a different bucket, a nice low profile shorter. It's about 8 inches shorter, and it'd be better for dirt. And it's a cinch to swap out now, so that's probably something coming up in my future. So anyway, I guess it's all together other than moving the hooks. So I get those hooks moved over to the other side of this, over to here. So we got it moved over. I'll lay that over there to protect the cylinder from splatter, both from the grinder and the welder. So these are moved over, and they won't interfere with anything anymore. They miss here. I already looked, and they miss the wheel now. I would really like to take this in and paint it, but unfortunately I have some work that's come up that I've got to get done right away. So we got to put this thing to work right now. So anyway, overall I'm happy with it. I don't like how much further away the bucket is from the machine, but I kind of knew that was going to happen when I started. The positive really outweighs the negative on that, so it'll be all right. Those hooks shouldn't come off. Last ones I did like that were just fine. In fact, I think I used the other welder, which doesn't weld nearly as well. So where I'm going to put the bucket back on this, and I've got to clean the barn out. So we're going to start doing that, and I'm going to send you on your way. This is Dan of Blue Dog Farms, head coologist and chief welder of metal, and you have a blessed day.